I want to tell you a story about being afraid because fear is the thing that's going to hold us back from all of our dreams and our goals. The tricky thing about fear is that it disguises itself as logic. And I'll share just a personal story with you. So last week we were in the Keys and I wanted to go paddleboarding. Um, about 5 years ago, I did something really stupid on a paddleboard and had an accident and thought I was going to drown. And it really scared me. I used to paddleboard all the time, but I went out on a day I shouldn't have. I didn't have a leash on my paddleboard. My board got away from me. Long story short, I was in like 5 or 6 foot waves. Wasn't great. And so it's gotten bigger in my head. I paddleboarded a little bit, but I definitely haven't gone out on a day like that again. So last week we were in the Keys, and there, where we were at our resort, you had to go out from a marina, kind of out of a channel around these rocks where the ocean came in and it got really, really choppy. And then once you got around all of that, you could, paddleboard on this beautiful area along the resort. But it was a really tricky situation. And I kept contemplating, should I go? Should I not go? Nobody else was going. And I really wanted to go. And I'm going to come back to that because that is what I have found is where you know if it's really fear or if you're being smart. So as I kept looking at the water, nobody else was going paddleboarding that day. And I kept asking myself, am I being smart or am I being chicken? Am I being smart or am I being chicken? And everything said, you're being smart. Even my dad was like, no, don't do it. You're being smart. And but inside me, I kept saying, I really want to go, but I'm scared. It's not a good day to go. And finally, I asked myself one question: will you regret it if you don't go? And my answer was yes. So I decided to go. Now, nobody else was going. The guy also kind of said, are you sure you want to go out today? And I said, yes, I'm going. I'm going to be just fine. And I went to go and I realized I had a little bit of a negative attitude. And that's when I changed it. In my head, I said, I'm going to be just fine. This is going to be great. I went out and it was very challenging. There was a guy coming back on a kayak and he said to me, I don't have any advice to give you. You're going out on a rough day. Good luck out there. And I just kept saying over and over, I'm going to be just fine. It's going to be great. So going out, incredibly challenging. Once I got around those rocks, though, it was gorgeous. I saw eagle spotted ray. The end of my paddleboard, I had 3 manatees come up right up to my board where I could get almost close enough to kiss them. And it was a glorious day. But I realized that fear could have held me back. And yes, I would have regretted it. Anything you want, when you get excited and you start to get ready, fear is going to grab you. And it is going to disguise itself as logic. And you're going to ask yourself, am I being smart or am I being chicken? So the way that I found is to really ask yourself, do I want this? Does it excite me? And will I regret it if I don't do it? And if you're going to regret it and you do want it and it does excite you, go for it. Because the best things are on the other side. I wouldn't have had those manatees come up to me and get to, almost swim with them and have them right up there and have this glorious memory. And I went and I did it the second day again because I realized it really is no big deal. I saw this quote: in the cave you fear to enter holds the treasure you seek, by Joseph Campbell. So if you want something and fear comes up and disguises itself as logic, ask yourself, am I going to regret this? And do I want it? And if I want it, go for it, because the glory is always on the other side of fear.